I think the very nature of the AOM, it is not final and executory. Why would the COA abdicate its mandate
No, sir.
of auditing the transaction or the funds utilization of the OBP? Why would the committee, Mr. Chair, arrogate upon itself the very
Sakit on.
mandate and responsibility of the Commission on Audit?
The case of...
Mr. Chair, I directed
Andale
the
po,
question to you.
I am not yet finished my manifestation or answer to the query of the Honorable Marcoleta.
Congressman Marcoleta,
Mr.
wait to
Chairman.
be recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I have all
Mr.
the right.
Chair,
Ano, you
the
have this.
question was addressed to...
Bastos, pinatayan ng mikropono si Marcoleta.
Marcoleta, you are out of order.
I deserve, Mr. Chair, an answer.
Talagang
1 minute suspension declared by
pinagtakpan nila si Castro. Si Castro pasagutin, hindi yung ibang tao.
Dan-aganBalita News Update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yun na yung tanong ko sana.
Ito yung animal na to,
Tungkol doon sa, Mr. Chair, yung attempted homicide.
Lakas ng loob kasi marami
Before
kang
you
kakampi, ha?
continue,
Sige,
I would
sa'yo
like to
pa.
recognize
Oras mo pa
the
to.
presence of the Honorable Vice President.
Nakasuot ka
Sara
pa ng
Please continue.
Nako, convicted ka pa naman.
Mr. Chair, so nakita natin yung melodramatic na nangyari noong weekend, at nakita natin yung kwento ng ating yung ni SecGen, SAA, tungkol doon sa, Mr. Chair, parang merong problema sa audio, Mr. Chair. At nakita natin, Mr. Chair, na talagang taliwas sa mga napanood natin sa social media, doon sa mga reports, yung totoong nangyari.
Nasira na yung mic sa kasinungalingan mo. Di ba? Kinabahan ka na? Ayaw ka talagang pasalitain kasi puro kasinungalingan yung mga sinasabi mo. Tingnan mo, nakarma ka tuloy. Panahon lang kasi yung sa iyo, kakalaban.
Hello? Okay. So,
Tingnan mo, nagsasalita siya, daming disturbance hindi siya mapakali. Inusig na ng kanyang konsensya, mga kabalitaan. Tingnan niyo si Castro. Kasi
okay, thank you, Mr.
niloloko
Chair.
mo lang yung mga
As
kasamahan
I've
mo
said,
dyan. Kakampi mo yung mga nasa
kwento
bundok.
na napanood natin sa statement ni BP Sara at saka sa statement ng COS, ng OVP. So, na-realize natin dito, taliwas doon sa kwento nila yung tunay na pangyayari. Of course, pinatunayan niya nung interpellation ni Representative Swansing at saka ni Congressman Cong. So, Mr. Chair, in our last session, so just to review, the committee passed my motion to hold Attorney Lopez in contempt under Section 11F of the Rules of Inquiries in Aid of Legislation for undue interference in our proceedings, and resolved to detain her for a period of 5 days instead of 10 days, or maximum of 10 days, as provided for in our Section 12 of the same rule. I must stress also, Mr. Chair,
Hinihingal ka dahil
that the
kinakabahan ka na.
totality, just you have said a while ago, the totality of Attorney Lopez's acts and conduct warranted a detention of more than 5 days. Considering the totality of her acts of undue interference to the proceedings of this committee and the Congress as a whole, she not only admitted
Di marunong magbasa. Sino ba nagsulat sa
to the
script mo?
COA in order to
Kahalata.
suppress or prevent the release of documents, but worse, Mr. Chair, she continued to assert her position during our hearing, as well as in prior correspondences that she sent to his committee in refusing to attend our prior hearings. But by virtue of her conduct, the committee was deprived of invaluable information necessary to allow it to perform its role of crafting legislation for the improvement of the country's system of governance and transparency, Mr. Chair. In fact, she only attended when a threat of contempt citation loomed large should she fail to comply again with the subpoena duces tecum, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, in view of the what happened during the last 2 days or so, I would like to consider to move for a reconsideration of our resolution, insofar as it's limited the period of detention for only 5 days. I move, Mr. Chair, that the period of detention
Ano?
of
Sige, dali.
Attorney
Sige, bilis.
Lopez be 10 days instead of 5 days.
Wow,
move, Mr. Chair.
galing! Tapang! Ganun ba?
10 days.
Sige.
So
Sige.
additional 5 days, tama po ba?
Yes,
Oh.
Mr. Chair, kasi hindi na siya
Tapang, no?
makaka-attend ngayon, ano. Talagang ano, no. So nakita naman natin sa history.
Ganun
yung
ka talaga
kanyang
ka-traidor, ano? May
evasive
saan mo nilagay yung kaluluwa mo?
attitude,
Hinayupa ka.
behavior, at itong kinreate niya na sinasabi niya na nagpagsisinungaling niya na hindi naman siya hinaras or hindi naman siya na-barge yung kanyang, yung room ay kasama na po yan. So yung lahat ng mga pangyayari, Mr. Chair. So I repeat, I move to extend
enjoy the moment.
period of contempt
Enjoy the moment.
of Attorney Zulaika Lopez, Mr. Chair.
Oh, lakas loob talaga, no? Kala mo kung
Mr.
sinong
Chair.
hindi convicted.
Chair.
Ngayon, si Chihuahua naman, naku, kakabahan na nito. Anong desisyon nito?
Before an
Pakinggan
action
natin.
may be taken by the committee. May I know how the totality of evidence
Yan, pakinggan natin.
was evaluated that merited the contempt order by the chair?
Congresswoman Castro.
Ang lalim ng English ni Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair, I'd like
Castro,
to-
sumagot.
Mr. Chair, may I
I'd like to
answer?
apprise the
Yes,
court,
Congresswoman
Mr. Chair,
Castro.
So,
that in the case
so
of
sino po ang in-acknowledge niyo,
This
nire-recognize,
is,
Mr. Chair?
this
Congressman
is a point of
Marcoleta.
information, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. This is
Yes.
something that has to do with the rights
Congressman
of the liberty
Marcoleta.
people.
Congressman Marcoleta, let us, the chair recognizes Congresswoman
may I
Castro.
ask, Mr.
Please
Chair,
proceed, Congresswoman Castro.
Mr. Chair, may I ask the action of the committee first on my motion, Mr. Chair, before we entertain.
We will rule on the
Okay,
motion first.
okay.
Is there any second to the motion?
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized? Please?
Duly seconded. Is there any objection?
Mr. Chair,
Hearing none, the motion is
I was
carried.
recognized
Mr. Chair.
earlier before any action may be taken by the court, by the chair. Why is it that I am not allowed to speak?
Congressman Marcoleta, there is a pending motion. We just acted
Yes,
on the
but
pending
before
motion
that
first.
motion can be taken up, because this is about the liberty of an individual. May I be
Correct.
may I
Liberty of
be
an
heard?
individual.
Yes, you will be heard, Congressman Marcoleta. But we just acted on the motion. Now, Congresswoman Castro, please, could you please answer the query of Congressman Marcoleta?
I have not yet asked the question, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
I am
please
trying to
continue.
explain my point.
Please continue, Congressman Marcoleta.
Because in the totality of evidence, as is stated by Honorable Castro, there is an existing case, Mr. Chair. Ong versus Senate, GR number 257401, which says that the court ruled that the determination of whether a testimony was false or evasive requires an assessment of the totality of evidence presented to determine whether a witness speaks truthfully or merely trying to evade answering the question directly. So I am asking, Mr. Chair, how was the totality of evidence assessed,
Yun.
if ever it was assessed? Ano po yung pinagbatayan? I think we deserve to know how the assessment was made. This concerns the liberty of an individual.
Correct.
Under the Constitution, no one should be deprived of life, liberty,
Wala
or
dyan si
property
Castro,
without
si
due
Lopez
process
eh.
of law. I think Attorney Lopez deserves to be heard Ano po yung assessment na ginawa
Kaya
ng
dyan si
chair
Atty. Lopez,
o
kaya
ng
nga.
committee?
Sus.
Kasi po, ang nabasa ko lang o nakita ko, Mr. Chair, Attorney Lopez wrote the COA explaining the position of the OBP that the audit observation memo is not conclusive, which means, Mr. Chair, Attorney Lopez is merely explaining the nature of an audit observation memo. If I were the lawyer of the OBP, I would have done the same because I think the very nature of the AOM, it is not final and executory. Why would the COA abdicate its mandate
No, sir.
of auditing the transaction or the funds utilization of the OBP? Why would the committee, Mr. Chair, arrogate upon itself the very
Sakit
mandate and responsibility of the Commission on Audit? Article 9D, Section 2, Paragraph 1 of the 1987 Constitution, Mr. Chair,
Laki yung mga mata nun.
I will read. The Commission on Audit shall have the power, authority, and the duty to examine, audit, and settle all accounts pertaining to the revenue and receipts of and expenditures or uses of funds and property. Mr. Chair, this constitutional provision jibes with Section 25, Paragraph 2 of Presidential Decree 1445 or the State Audit Code of the Philippines, which says, to develop and implement a comprehensive audit program that shall encompass an examination of financial transactions, accounts, and reports, including evaluation of compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Meaning to say, Mr. Chair, the mandate and authority to audit accounts on the expenses or expenditures of government is only the COA. I believe
Totoo yan.
it is my respectful submission, Mr. Chair, that this committee usurped that particular mandate and that will now put the Commission on Audit positions in a compromise, Mr. Chair.
Tama, tama.
How will you now assess the authority, the integrity, and the mandate? It is an independent constitutional body which mandate rests upon them. And I think the audit observation memo, Mr. Chair, is still under process by the committee, by the Commission on Audit. Why would we take that responsibility from the Commission on Audit? Why don't we allow the process to proceed and complete their investigation?
Nice point.
I am raising a constitutional issue before this committee, Mr. Chair. We cannot arrogate upon ourselves the principal
man.
mandate reposed to the COA. It is the Constitution itself which gave them that responsibility, that authority and mandate. Where in Article 7 of the Philippine Constitution, which is the grant of legislative power, can this committee arrogate upon itself that particular mandate?
Naging
I would
sampal yan.
like that question to be answered, Mr. Chair.
Patay, Castro ka dyan. Naintindihan mo lahat yan? Go for the betterment of our country.
Thank you,
All right.
Congressman Marcoleta.
Thank you, Mr.
The chair would like to
Attorney.
recognize the Honorable
Marcoleta.
Congressman Paduan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
May na- ito na naman yung
just
siya, eh.
to clear it out with regards to the jurisprudence that's cited by the Honorable Marcoleta with regards to
napakabait
Cong
naman, no?
versus Senate. That is true. No, that the resolution of the Supreme Court favors Lincoln Ong, but that is a question of due process because Lincoln Ong was cited in contempt. Now, question the case of
Mr. Chair, I directed
Andale
the
po.
question to you.
I am not yet finished my manifestation or answer to the query of the Honorable Marcoleta. Mr.
May ikaw
Chairman.
yung pinapasusunod.
Here
Wish
was
to be
the
recognized
Honorable...
Congressman Marcoleta,
Mr.
wait to
Chairman.
be recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I have all
Mr.
the right.
Chair,
Ano, you
the
have this-
question was addressed to
Bastos, pinatayan ng mikropono si si Marcoleta. Tama ba 'yan? Oh, iba yung sumagot, tinanong si
Marcoleta, let me
kasi hindi
first
makakasagot yan
recognize
si
Congressman
mga kabalitaan,
Paduano.
itong si Castro.
Before
Kasi
you
hanggang
answer-
ano lang yan,
before
hanggang
you
script lang
recognize
yan.
him,
Congressman
I
Marcoleta,
deserve-
you are out of order.
I deserve, Mr. Chair, an answer.
Talagang
1 minute suspension of the claim,
pinagtakpan nila si Castro. Si Castro pasagutin, hindi yung ibang tao. Kasi alam nila na hindi makakasagot si Castro dahil hanggang script lang yan si Castro. Nagbabasa yan. Yung motion niya nga, binabasa nga niya. Nako! Anong masasabi niyo sa kaungguyan nitong si Castro? Oh, di ba? Dinadaan nila sa init ng ulo Dinadaan sa mga ganyan para huminto yung pag-uusapan. So nakikita na ho natin mga kabalitaan na kampihan ho sila diyan. Isa lang ho yung layunin nila diyan mga kabalitaan. Yun po yung katotohanan ho diyan. Nakita na ho ninyo. Nakita nyo na kung paano ho pinagtutulungan itong si Marcoleta. Dapat isang tao ang magtanong, ang sumagot sa katanungang iyan na napakalalim ho kung naintindihan ba ni matandang ulupong na yan, itong mga pagtatanong ni Congressman Marcoleta. Nasaan na siya ngayon? Hindi na kumibo. Nung nagsalita na ho si Paduano, hinayaan niya nang magsalita kasi wala ho siyang masagot mga kabalitaan. Di ba? Tingnan nyo. Yung script na binabasa mismo ni Castro, yung matandang ulupong na yan, yung girlfriend ni Abante, girlfriend ba yan? Hindi. O baka girl niya, friend. Magkaibigan lang. Hindi girl na may relasyon sila girlfriend. So tingnan nyo, obvious na obvious ho mga kabalitaan na talagang wala ho silang masagot. Tingnan nyo. Nawala sila bigla. Pag hindi ho sila makakasagot, ang ginagawa ho agad nila, gumaganon agad 1 minute suspension agad. Nako, huli ka Balbon. Yun ang sinasabi ko. Yun ang hinihintay kasi natin na may tao talaga, kagaya ni Congressman Marcoleta, na makapagsalita ho doon. At kung legalidad yung pagbabasihan, talagang swak na swak ho dyan si Marcoleta. Palakpakan ho natin mga kabalitaan. Kayo dyan na mga nanonood, anong masasabi ho nyo? Tingnan nyo, 1 minute suspension pero napakahaba ho. Nawala na si Chihuahua. Sinasabihan pang out of order? Ba't nagiging out of order? Na yung sinasabi ni Congressman Marcoleta ay angko po sa ginawa ni sino to? Ni Franco, ni Castro. Kasi nga, nagmo-motion siya na nag-a-add siya ng 5 araw para maging 10 araw na wala naman ho sa harap. Itong si Atty. Lopez, dapat marinig niya ho at malaman yung karapatan at kung anong magiging rason. Hindi ho, agad-agad lang mo-motion, ito namang si Chua, mukhang perang Chihuahua, ay agad-agad tinatanggap ho mga kabalitaan. Naku! Palibasa kasi hindi mga abogado kaya nagmamarunong ho. Tayong mga taong bayan, alam na ho natin mga kabalitaan. Alam na ho natin na ganun ho talaga yung Kongreso. Huli ka, Balbon! Tingnan yung 1 minute suspension. Lumagpas na ho. Kasi hindi ho sila makasagot-sagot ng diretsahan. Hindi ho sila makasagot-sagot ng diretsahan at malalim na tanong ho yan. Sino po ba makakasagot na mga ano dyan? Teka, okay lang ba yung mic ko dyan mga kabalitan? Hindi ba nabasag? Parang nabasag yung mic ko. Yung audio ng mic ko. Okay lang po ba? Comment nga kayo dyan.
Committee hearing resumes.
Mr. Chair,
May I continue, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair,
The point of
Congressman
order...
Acop is recognized.
with the indulgence of the Honorable Marcoleta, Mr. Chair, I think you might as well agree to disagree with one another bago po tuloy. Di po ba?
Yes, I agree, Congressman Acop.
So, we follow our rules. The Honorable Marcoleta is a member of this Congress, so he knows the rules and he is obligated to follow the rules. Otherwise, he'll be declared out of order and be taken out of this room. For all of us, members of Congress, let's follow the House rules. That's why they are there, for orderly proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Acop.